Welcome to this week's installment of Today and Tomorrow in Scottsdale with Don Henniger. I'm Don, and with me is my shopping partner, Kevin Maxwell.
We do shop together a lot.
We do shop a lot, right?
Yep, right.
Yeah,
Shopaholics.
We are. And what better? Where do you go to escape the summer heat?
Well, Don, I'm just going to jump in real quick here. You know how we do a Scottsdale Analytics segment quite a bit?
I do.
Today we're going to do a Scottsdale Analytics segment. It's called "How Much Money Has Kevin Spent at Fashion Square in the Last 90 Days?"
Do I need a calculator?
It's a big number, I'm telling you.
Is Brahman listening to this?
Oh yeah, she's right there with me.
Does she know then? Right? Okay. Well,
I love this. I love this place. I love these people. Let's go.
This is where we go, man. We go to the mall, we cool off, and we just hang out there. And today we're going to go behind the curtain at what is perhaps the most successful mall in America, and that would be Scottsdale Fashion Square. We've got two of their executives with us here. Kate Birchler, she's head of tourism and marketing at Macerich, the company that owns Fashion Square. And Andy Greenwood, he's vice president for development at Macerich. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
What a pleasure to be here.
Great to have you on. I can't wait to dig into what's happening at the mall, where we all hang out sooner or later. So, but first some background on both of you. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and your career path and what led you to your current job at Macerich and all the stuff that's happening in Scottsdale. And Kate, you want to kick us off?
Sure. Well, again, thank you so much for having me here today. What a treat to sit around the table with you all. I'm Kate Birchler. I am an Arizonan of 25 years. Prior to that, I was born and raised in Florida, and another 20 years. So do the math. Just a few more there.
It's easier than Kevin's shopping list, but trust me.
I like to say one sunshine state to another.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm raising my family. My husband and I have two daughters. We're raising our family right here in Scottsdale. I have been a part of the Macerich family for 23 years and started my career at Scottsdale Fashion Square. I was head of tourism when I started with the company back in 2001. Prior to that, I actually did the public relations for Scottsdale Fashion Square and helped grand open the Retail Connection, which is the Nordstrom wing, which we'll talk a little bit about today.
I was here. I remember that, yeah.
We're coming full circle on that story there for sure. So 23 years leading the tourism marketing efforts, spent a couple of years in the field as well and headed up the marketing at Scottsdale Fashion Square and then reprised my role to head up tourism. And it's my privilege to serve this industry and have been doing this a very long time. I serve the Experience Scottsdale. I'm chair of the board of directors for Experience Scottsdale, former City of Scottsdale Tourism Development Commissioner. I serve national boards as well, and I am involved in a number of nonprofit organizations across the valley serving their board. And I'm also class of 26, Scottsdale leadership grad. Got to throw that in there too. And I just absolutely love what I do. What a great opportunity to talk about shopping and travelers.
Yeah. Love it. I know. Hey, we're all Scottsdale leadership grads.
I was going to throw out our numbers.
I think we are,
yeah. Okay.
Class 34.
34.
32.
29.
There we go. Yeah.
All around the same time frame of each other.
That's pretty cool, right? Yeah, we're all kind of right in the same era. Andy, what about you?
Well, yeah, again, thank you for the opportunity to be here. I wish I was an executive of Macerich. I'm not. I'm an employee and vice president of development. But
that sounds like an executive.
But it's still good. I still enjoy it. I'm right where I need to be. I grew up in Salt Lake City, Utah, a long time ago, but I moved down here.
Where'd you go to high school at?
Alta High School.
Really?
Davis. Okay.
I got a couple Salt Lake veterans there. Yeah, very good.
Very cool. So, grew up in Salt Lake City, worked for my father in a construction world where we would build the stores inside the shopping centers that I now get to manage and renovate. So, Foot Locker and Sephora and those guys, we would build them. But that's what I did for him. I moved down here to Arizona for that particular company in 2004, and I've been here since. And so, in a lot of ways, Phoenix is now home for me and feels like home. Married, 3 children, loving it. We're having a great time down here in Arizona. I've been with Macerich 17 years now. And so the first 10, I was in the tenant coordination department. So I was managing the tenant construction on behalf of the landlord. So from building them to manage them, it was a pretty easy switch when I came from the construction world, and then went over to the development department about 7 years ago. And really, really fortunate to work with a lot of really great individuals, Kate being one of them. So
That's fantastic.
happy to be here.
Kevin, there must be something with Macerich. 23 years for Kate, 17 for Andy. That must be a pretty cool company to work for.
There's a tremendous amount of longevity in our company.
Yeah.
It's something I think we're really proud of.
Yes, very much so.
It's a great company to work for. We have a lot of fun getting to do what we do, and we get to work with great people and a great culture.
That comes out in the product,
It shows, doesn't it?
right?
Right.
Yeah, that comes out in the product.
Well, when you're known for excellence, it's usually there's excellence behind the curtain too, right?
Try to be, for sure.
For sure.
It takes an army, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So, I don't think it's a stretch to say the Fashion Square to some extent is defying the odds, or at least it's defying the trends at many malls across the country, which a lot of them are in decline right now. It seems like it's a passing trend or whatever, but the opposite seems to be true here, and maybe that's true in Scottsdale and some of your other properties too. So what's behind the success at Fashion Square and your other properties in Arizona? What's the magic formula, if there is one?
I don't know about magic formula, but personally, and I'll speak for myself, and my opinion is that Scottsdale Fashion Square is a great example as to what we like to do, and that's continual investment in the property. If you were to go back to the 60s and see the rodeo ground that it was to what it is today, that doesn't just happen overnight naturally, right? You continually invest and invest and reinvest and rethink and reinvest and rethink. And that's been true for Fashion Square. If you were to go back to the rodeo ground days to, adding the Dillard and going over the top of Goldwater Boulevard, and then, in the late 90s, early 2000s, when we built the South Wing going over Nordstrom's and over the top of Camelback Road, it's been a continual investment, and that, that's going to continue.
Yeah. There's signs of that all over the mall, and there's signs of you guys doing that continuously all the time inside the mall.
Yeah.
We like to say we're the best address that keeps getting better, and I agree with that. I think the Macerich has had an incredible vision in really diversifying the asset and creating a space where locals and residents and visitors alike love to come and experience, whether they come to shop, to dine, to be entertained, whether they want to office there, whether they soon want to stay on the doorstep at our new hotel coming in.
Right. Yeah.
If they want to have health and wellness and experience our new Lifetime Fitness. There's a multitude of things to do at the campus that is Scottsdale Fashion Square.
It's like a city within a city, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Now, I forgot about Lifetime Fitness. I toured that place about 3 weeks ago.
Did you?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's all state of the art. It's brand new, right?
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
State of the art stuff going for sure. And the luxury wing, maybe that's been one of the differences in Scottsdale. But let's talk. We want to focus on Scottsdale Fashion Square because this is a Scottsdale podcast. But with properties all over the valley, how does Scottsdale Fashion Square? Do you learn lessons in other properties from what you're doing in Scottsdale, or vice versa? How does it play out with the rest of the Macerich property lineup in the valley?
Yeah, for sure. In a lot of ways, Scottsdale Fashion Square, as you start to bring in some of the bigger names that are out there in the retail world, and they also bring along their friends, right? And so you create a gravitational pull that you can make a pretty solid lineup of tenant names that, of people in places where they want to be and should be, frankly. And so, it's really an opportunity to find the right names and to find the right tenant names and line them up. And as you start to build one, the momentum starts to build and build and build. And, being on the landlord side, you need to be ready for that.
Yeah.
Which speaks to the investment and continual reinvestment.
Yeah.
And there's a synergistic relationship among our properties. We have 8 centers across the valley, right? And you think about Biltmore Fashion Park and Kierland Commons being within a 5-mile radius of Scottsdale Fashion Square.
Right.
And those are 3 very different shopping experiences.
Yeah, you're right.
With Fashion Square really kind of being in the middle there. Mm-hmm. And so I think in terms of the type of retail mix that's there, the dining that's there, it really complements what we also have at Biltmore Fashion Park and at Kierland Commons.
That makes a lot of sense. And the luxury wing that you guys have added there over the past, about a year or two now, maybe it's a little bit longer than that even. What a draw. And how unique it is, right? That's a destination shopping opportunity for people from across the valley, even from out of state. You're drawing people from out of state for that too, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. This wing of luxury brands, in addition to, we have 200 plus stores within Scottsdale Fashion Square, 50 of which you're not going to find anywhere else in the state of Arizona. There's a draw for that. And it has definitely put us on what I like to call the fashion roadmap. We definitely are more synonymous with the likes of LA and Miami. When you think about the type of retail, the luxury brands that are there, the restaurants, the chef-renowned restaurants that are playing a role at Scottsdale Fashion Square, and Scottsdale overall, too. It's really great to see that they're invested in the destination in addition to coming to Scottsdale Fashion Square.
But I think it's important to note that it's not just a luxury play, right?
Absolutely.
Scottsdale Fashion Square still has to be a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah, you're right.
And while there is a luxury component that is appropriate and needed for the Scottsdale area, there's still an opportunity for many of the tenants that you would see in a typical mall.
Yeah, it makes for a nice mix, doesn't it? Yeah.
I mean, you have Dick's Sporting Goods there. I mean, that's
true.
That's a store that everybody knows, a brand that everybody knows,
Right,
and
right.
you can go to Dick's Sporting Goods and buy your everyday needs.
Right.
Could go down there and buy my golf clubs and slide over and buy Dana a diamond ring at one of the jewelry stores on the other
You
end.
can do it.
I started work this morning early, and I turned my computer on, and the first email I got was from Fashion Square, Scottsdale Fashion Square.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they opened up the new Panerai store.
Yes.
That's right.
So I
there
wore
you go.
I wore my Panerai today to remind myself I don't need another one.
There you go. That's fantastic.
Or maybe you do.
Maybe you do.
Or maybe
yeah.
you do.
Yeah, maybe you do.
Well, why don't you go look and find out? You
So
might see
thanks a lot,
something
you
you like,
guys,
right?
for making it easier for me.
I can talk to Bronwyn if that's of any help.
Yeah, great.
I hope she's listening today because you got a lot to tell her when we're done, Kevin.
She will be.
So how do you determine what's going to be a hit from a retail standpoint? I mean, how do you do your research? I mean, where do you learn the kind of tenants that you want to recruit to the mall?
That's a really good question. I think that there's a little bit of supply and demand on who wants to be there and who should be there. And sometimes, there's probably those that you need to be careful about because it may not be a proper fit for a fit for the demographic that we're attempting to attract. And so, it's kind of a very symbiotic relationship between us and the tenants as we start to explore that. Sometimes we'll have feedback from customers and shoppers that say, "Hey, it would be great if you had so and so here."
Right.
And then we'll go explore that. I mean, that's a very real comment that happens. It happens a lot. And we'll go explore some of those names and see if there's a mutual interest wherein, an appropriate opportunity can be invested in.
But you definitely see some major anchor tenants that are there. And obviously, when those anchor tenants are there are other tenants who want to be in co-tenancy with them, right? And so I think that that's been an incredible play, as we've really built up the overall mix of the center.
What's the status in the middle of the mall where you're still doing some renovations? What's the update there? Are there some new stores coming in there? And when's that work going to be coming to an end?
Yeah, so appreciate the public dealing with our construction project that we have here. So thank you for those that continue to come despite the construction. So yes, we are right in the middle of that. It is again an example of the continual investment at Fashion Square. This is an attempt to really make a cohesive luxury shopping experience together with the opportunities that exist down the Neiman Marcus and Dillard wing. And so now we're going to continue that down Nordstrom. Yes, there are new tenants that are coming. Some of them are public and some are not. And so unfortunately, I can't talk about everybody
I want to break
today.
some news today, man.
I wish that I could, but there are several that, some food that we could talk about here in a second. But, we are in the middle of that. We are still expecting that interior renovation to be complete by the major shopping season, toward the end of this year. So call it Black Friday and beyond. I think it will be complete.
Good.
As a part of that, we're working on that arrival sequence, the what we call the porte cochere. And so we're overhauling that as well. And so there will be an improved valet experience that'll be on that side of the mall as well.
Okay, yeah. That kind of give us a little bit of a heads up on who's coming in there. And that little tease in here.
Well, we've made one big announcement
Go ahead.
recently.
Okay,
yeah.
I feel like we're constantly talking about new retail
You bet.
coming into Scottsdale Fashion Square, but we're very excited that Elefante is joining the restaurant mix
I saw that
at
story,
Scottsdale
yeah.
Fashion Square, which of
Yeah.
course they have a nice presence in LA. This is a great dining experience.
Italian restaurant, right?
Mediterranean.
Mediterranean. Okay, cool.
Mediterranean opportunity.
And that's going to have a great presence at Scottsdale Fashion Square for sure.
Yeah, right on Marshall Way, just a couple of blocks from where we are.
No, that's perfect. What a nice access point like that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
And then we're anticipating, additional retailers that will soon to announce. as we continue to go forward. But again, that center continues to evolve with great brands. I mean, we've got new stores like Panerai that just opened. Of course, we've got Lifetime Fitness that just recently opened. Of course, their membership is nearly sold out. So what a great story that is for them. And then, of course, we're very excited, especially I'm very excited from a tourism standpoint about the new Caesars Republic Scottsdale Hotel, which will open in February of 24.
Right.
So we're
not that
super
far
excited
away.
about that. It'll be on the doorstep of Scottsdale Fashion Square.
Let's talk a little bit about that because I mean we're going to have Joe Itori in here at some point soon. We've talked to him before.
Good.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of what's happening there is amazing. Talk about what that's going to mean in terms of your partnerships, the ways you're going to work together. It's got to be a symbiotic relationship that's going to be beneficial to both, I would think, right?
Absolutely. I think that that's going to be a great addition. Once again, Caesars has made the decision to choose Scottsdale as its very first non-gaming hotel in the world. And it's going to be right here on the doorstep of Scottsdale Fashion Square, just to the north of the property. And easy access right into Fashion Square. We anticipate that there will be a great relationship between our retailers and the resort and the concierge and front desk to help ensure that all of those incredible guests that are staying there have the opportunity to shop and dine in our center, take advantage of all of our various amenities, in addition to all of the great amenities they're going to be offering with their food offerings and their incredible, rooftop pool. That's going to be a great amenity, and their event space. They're going to have a tremendous opportunity to host a number of events and nice sized groups. And in fact, they've just launched their utilization of their event space for April 2024. So you can start booking if you're ready to go.
Kevin, line it up, buddy. Yeah.
And we anticipate hosting a number of activities and events together, in addition to having an ongoing package that will be available to all of their guests staying there. They'll be able to enjoy a very customized experience with us. That's one of the great things that we offer at Scottsdale Fashion Square, is a customized luxury shopping experience. So think of it as black car arrival, red carpet.
Really?
Upon arrival, literal red carpet concierge. Our concierge is waiting for you with a glass of champagne and a VIP welcome bag. And off you go to your curated private shopping experience within a carousel of luxury retail
Do you
brands.
offer that now?
We offer that right now.
Really?
We work with a lot of the resorts in the area that offer that to their guests, and it's a very special private shopping experience before center hours, and you can go in and learn the history and heritage of the luxury brand, find out the latest fashion trends, and of course do some shopping. And that's a part of Experience Scottsdale's program with the city of Scottsdale, with their immersive experiences called Exceptionally Scottsdale, and Scottsdale Fashion Square is one of those.
Did you know
Rachel
this before?
Rachel, that team over there, that's brilliant.
That's what they're always up to over there, isn't it? You guys work
I
so
had
well with
no
them,
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way. It's something that's very unique, right? So that's something that very much caters to individuals, mother-daughter events, just someone who just loves to shop. It's very approachable. It's very reasonably priced, and we offer it on certain days of the week. So very bookable through Fashion Square's website.
So Joe was telling me that, for example, one of the ways you work together is that he doesn't need to build out a spa or a gym in the hotel because he can send people over to Lifetime Fitness, and there's going to be a partnership there, right?
Yeah, my understanding is they're working on a partnership there. And again, the opportunity to go in and benefit from private shopping with the retailers, to dining in our restaurants if they want to change of scenery after enjoying Giada's restaurants. Those are the types of things that they'll be able to take advantage of because they're right there at Fashion Square.
That's going to be an amazing experience. I can't wait for that hotel.
so
I can't
excited.
wait to go eat at Giada's place.
I want to book some Scott events over at the hotel. I mean, maybe Joe will set us up in one of the meeting rooms over there. That'd be really cool.
There's going to be gorgeous views
It's
of Camelback
beautiful.
Mountain. It's spectacular.
If you can get up there on that rooftop deck, just from that pool and see Camelback Mountain from there, it is incredible. It's beautiful.
Sunset up there at night, whatnot. Wow,
Yeah.
fantastic way to go. So talk about the property just to the east of that, that goes out and faces on Scottsdale Road, because I know that you own that, right? And you have the option right now. I think you've been through city council approval to build something eventually there if you want to.
That's correct.
Any plans that you can talk about in terms of what you're thinking about there? I've heard stories that could be like an 11-story building, multi-use, with a little commercial in it, maybe some residential. Anything that you can talk about now that you're thinking about in the near future?
Yeah, I can tell you that we continue to look at it. We continue to plan. We continue to say, hey, what if? And then we see where that kind of question leads us to. And, there's been all kinds of rumors that are out there. Everything from, specialty grocer to office to multifamily to to another hotel or, whatever it could be. It could be 100 different things. And the short answer is we don't know yet.
Yeah.
And although we don't know, we continue to study it. We continue to think about it. It's certainly on our mind. We know that it's a very, very valuable piece of dirt in one of the best intersections in Metro Phoenix.
Yeah, no kidding.
And so, because of that, it's important to us that whatever we do it right. And in that vein, we are incredibly patient as to what right means. And I think we need to be, because I think it would be a mistake to jump too soon, to put in something that is not appropriate, that, missed a cycle or whatever it is you want to talk about. But it's continually on our mind. There's another gentleman in my office that I work with daily that we pass each other in the hall and say, hey, what would you do if you could, fill in the blank out there, right? And so it's very exciting. It's a fun thing to do from a development perspective to think about. But there isn't anything on paper that we're actively pursuing other than we continue to study it.
It's nice to have the option.
Absolutely.
And my understanding is it's already passed city council. So you don't have to worry about going through the city council
there you go.
arrangement again and trying to figure out whether you're going to say yes or no to another development.
Smart
right?
to do it when you did it, right?
Yeah, get that thing under your belt, man, and worry about it later on, right?
Yep, that was a few years ago that we came out with that. But yes, the entitlements are in place. And so when the time is right, we feel like we can pull the trigger and act on that.
So nice not to have to go through the gauntlet on that one.
I know it.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question about data. Geek out with me for a minute, because you're talking earlier about when you're procuring the right tenants, and there's probably a symbiotic relationship there where it's got to be a right fit for you, it's got to be a right fit for the tenant. I bet there's a lot of data that goes into that now, probably that didn't exist a few years ago. Is that right? Am I making the right assumption?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely there. Certainly we look at tenants that could help us to improve or bolster or strengthen kind of the trade area, right? Is there a hole in our trade area that we need to look at to improve that? And that would be a part of it. And so
What's
there
that
would
mean,
be
trade area?
So, where do people come from to go to Fashion Square? Mm-hmm. Right. What is that geographical area? Are we missing a zip code? Are we missing an address that we can start to pull from? If so, what does that shopping habit and pattern look like in that particular trade area? And how do we pull that? And there's various platforms that you can use to try to find that data.
Oh, Andy, I'm so proud of you talking the marketing speak over
Here we
there.
go.
Nice job.
See, that's the extent of my marketing knowledge.
Right.
This is teamwork at its best right here.
I could not have said it better. Perfectly stated.
Do you want to add to it?
Nope, he nailed it. That's exactly it. I mean, we're constantly looking at what the customer wants and needs and taking that into consideration when we evaluate our market, and perfectly said.
I did it right.
Fantastic. Wow, Kate, you're a good teacher over there, maybe, or at least a good partner anyway.
Very true.
Partner.
Talk a little bit about the technology, the behind-the-scenes stuff that we don't even think about or we don't pay attention to. But technology changes everything. How is technology changing the business of running a mall?
Well, I think that there's certainly some components to that, everything from some of our infrastructure and whatnot to make sure that we're being efficient and appropriate for, solar energy and, those kinds of things. But we do track a lot of that. We track a lot of the ins and outs of who's coming and which entrance. As we appreciate and understand who's coming in which entrance needs attention. Right?
Makes sense. Yeah.
Is it restricting productivity, or is it do we need to do something with it? Do we need to improve that experience as you come from the curb all the way into the property?
Yeah.
And so there's a space for that.
And we look at technology and how we communicate with our shoppers too, right? Is that especially from the digital space, which is constantly changing.
Yes.
So, we have a dedicated digital marketing team that's very focused on ensuring that our message is being articulated to the right audience in the right way, at the right time, with the right cadence. And that continues to be incredibly important to us. That's the key space. The other thing that I think is important to note too, is the synergistic relationship between online and brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. There was a time where that wasn't as connected as it is now. And that when we think about the path to purchase, it might be that a savvy fashionista is going to do her research online in terms of what she might want to purchase, but she's going to go in with her established sales associate into Gucci and know this is what she wants to buy. And when she walks in there, she's walking in there with purpose. So I think that's changed the shopping pattern. But you still want that face-to-face interaction.
Right.
And you also want to enjoy that with someone who is equal fashionista with you, right? So whether that's, hey, let's go and shop at Fashion Square and then go have lunch at Francine, that's another great way where when you think about that path to purchase, they might be doing the research online, but they want to physically go into the store, physically want to obviously be in the restaurant and have that experience. And that's why we were considered that town center, that heartbeat, if you will, of Old Town Scottsdale.
Yeah. Makes sense. We go to a luxury store, you want to be there in person, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But at any store, but particularly a luxury store, for sure.
It's funny how Fashion Square Mall for me is a place where I want to go and people watch and hang out.
Yeah.
I mean, I really want to go and hang out there. I do, and I often do.
Right.
I'll go to the food court and get something to eat and hang out at the mall, which is something we haven't done since we were teenagers, right?
You know, what goes around comes around.
Right.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? There's been a shoplifting craze, particularly I think more in the East Coast, but that's gotten kind of out of control. And I think I was reading a story today about a Walmart somewhere back on the East Coast that they're shutting down all of the aisles except for like 2 of them, and having people order what they want to buy on Walmart, and somebody from Walmart goes in and gets it for them, so they're not wandering through the store. Lessening the shoplifting needs. Is shoplifting an area that you guys are paying attention to for your tenants, or is that left more up to tenants to take care of monitoring that? What is that whole shoplifting craze? Has it come to Fashion Square or Scottsdale in general?
You know, that's really a situation where the retailers have a dedicated team that's focused on that.
Okay.
And, you know, we have a security team who's there to keep a great eye on the center and ensure that everybody's having an enjoyable experience. And that's our number one priority, is that anyone that comes into the shopping center has an enjoyable experience. There's a level of, quality control there, that they can reach out to our concierge should they have any questions or any needs. They can text our text concierge for any questions or needs, just to let anybody know if they see something. But we really work very hard to create an environment that is enjoyable for our shoppers.
Makes sense. Kevin, we often talk about downtown or Old Town Scottsdale being the tourism draw, but I think the biggest tourism draw that might be down there is the mall.
I didn't even realize that they had somebody in Gates' position, a tourism person that works for a retailer.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? It's always necessary to provide context to what I do. So from a tourism marketing standpoint, my job is to work with the global travel trade and ensure that when they are sending travelers into the United States and we have a shopping center in that destination, that they're familiar with us, because shopping is the number one activity visitors do when they travel.
Yeah.
And that is in every international market. They'll sit down to meet with us and say, the Mexicans love to shop, the Brits love to shop, the French love to shop, the Germans love to shop. Everybody loves to shop, which is great. So it really helps tell my story very easily and makes my job very easy and a lot of fun. And so we work with the global travel trade to share that message, be an ambassador, if you will, an extension of the overall destination marketing. So we're talking about Scottsdale, we're talking about Metropolitan Phoenix, we're talking about Arizona and everything that we do when we're talking to the global travel trade. And then in turn, we have field marketing teams who are responsible for working with their local tourism community. And so we align with all the resorts and hotels and create really great shopping package experiences. We work with all the neighboring attractions to ensure there's cross-marketing there. And then, of course, we're actively involved in our convention and visitors bureaus as well.
That's amazing. That's great.
Crazy stuff. Talk a little bit about the economic impact you have for the city. It's a huge revenue draw.
Well, you just said we're definitely one of the major, if not the major, tourism draw in the destination. Yeah. We rival Grand Canyon's numbers. I will say
do you
that.
really?
We do. And Scottsdale Fashion.
You know we're the Grand Canyon State. I started Michigan.
We're the fashion state, too.
Yeah, we're
the fashion state. And Scottsdale Fashion Square, 25% of our annual visitation and business is attributed to tourism. So we're drawing from all over the region, all over the United States. I mean, we're a great place. Again, we're rivaling the likes of LA and Miami and Vegas. When you're talking about great shopping and a great shopping experience, Scottsdale Fashion Square is going to be on your radar now, which is again, it's a great story to tell.
Fashion roadmap, here we are.
Hey, I want to ask a comment on something, or get your guys' input on this. One thing that's unique about the mall is they have 3 car retailers in there, right? Is 3?
That's correct.
3? Yeah.
And last Sunday morning, I got up and Bron goes, "Where are you going?" I go, "I'm going for test drive a car." And she goes, "Where?" I go, "At the mall." And I almost bought a Polestar. The only reason I didn't is because I'm gone. I'll be gone for 2 months. It didn't make much sense to put a new brand new car.
It'll be waiting for you.
That's what the sales guy said.
Let's see
You
if
guys
you're
have
serious.
3 car dealerships, 3 car retailers, I guess you'd call them.
Polestar, Lucid, and Tesla.
Tesla.
All three are in the center. Mhm.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I stop in all three of them too.
Do you?
All those cars are pretty cool.
They're kind of fun to look at.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah.
But that's unique, right? I mean, no, can't think of another retail destination that has three, and it probably to get fit. They have to be electric cars. I mean, you couldn't put a Toyota dealership in there.
Well, again, it goes back to diversifying the asset, right? I mean, there's something in there for everyone, truly.
Right.
You know, I love when you've been talking about how you do some personalized shopping, experiences for people. So, what happens when a big star comes to town? Do they call you up and say, we want to get a behind the scenes deal. We want some private time. Everybody knows who we are. So, set something up for us so we can come over and shop.
Well, we're very accustomed to welcoming all of our VIPs. We try to think of every single person who comes into Fashion Square as a VIP. As Andy said earlier, you know, we want to make sure there's something for everyone at Scottsdale Fashion Square and that everybody feels like they can come in there and have a great experience. With that being said, we have a dedicated concierge team. So think about it as very paralleled concierge services that you would find in one of our resorts. And we like to call him the mayor of Scottsdale Fashion Square, but everybody knows Peter Harden.
Oh,
and he has been with
yeah.
us for 25 plus years.
I think I've heard,
and he is the person that all the celebrity athletes, all the VIPs, everybody knows Peter Harden and will come and shop with him. He will walk you through the center. He will walk you into whatever retailers. Every retailer knows him. If you're with him, everybody knows that you're with somebody special. Peter makes you feel incredibly special. You cannot duplicate him. People have tried.
Yep.
He is amazing. And so he takes great care from moment of arrival to moment of departure. He will take your bags out to your car if that's what you'd like. He will walk with you, make you feel comfortable right at home. He treats Fashion Square like his living room.
That's got to be a cool job.
It's a cool job.
We got another guest coming up. We're going to have to get
Right?
Peter on a podcast here sometime.
He would be a lot of fun.
He's got great stories.
I
He's
would
got
love to
great
hear
stories.
some of those stories, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Write
Mark
him
it
down.
up. We'll get his contact info later, but that would be fantastic. Great conversations. What have we not asked you that you want to tell us about them all? Like, what's next? Give us one little tidbit of what's next that we might be able to tell our
Well, if you
folks
can
that are
believe it,
listening.
we're already thinking about back to school and holiday.
I'm surprised we don't have Christmas signs up yet.
No. We don't do that. But we are getting ready for, we've got a big Pride event at Fashion Square next week.
Okay.
And they've got, that's on Wednesday. And then they've got a back to school event, and then holiday. And, they are big supporters of so many nonprofits, so many charities doing great events, fashion events, with wonderful nonprofits. A lot of our work is through the arts, through children, and through education. And so that has really, and women, that's another great platform for us. So the team really supports a lot of the nonprofit groups in the destination and does a lot of their events for them. So that's ongoing. Obviously with summer, we know people are going to be shopping. It's a great way to escape the heat is to come in and enjoy, whether you're going to go to the movies and see a great blockbuster this season, or you're going to come have restaurant on one of the Mr. Patios. This is a great place to be this summer. So there's constant activity there, right?
Yeah.
Constant
Yeah.
activity. And of course, make a little plug for the website. You can always find all the information on fashionsquare.com or follow us on social media.
Makes sense.
But it is definitely the heartbeat of the downtown area, and there's always something exciting happening there.
Fantastic.
Couldn't have said it better.
All right, fantastic. Kevin, any questions here for our guest
thank
today?
you so much. I'm looking forward to this for a long time, and it's nice to have Andy and Katie here.
Yeah.
And it's just fun stuff.
Great
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being here. It was great to get us, a peek behind the scenes at the mall there. It was someplace we all go to all the time, and we learned a few things that we didn't know before. And can't wait to see some of the new additions that you have planned. And keep them coming because it's a great place for all, and it's a point of pride for Scottsdale.
It is a point of pride for Scottsdale. Thank you for saying that, Don.
So thank Kate, thank Andy, thanks for taking us on a tour, and thanks to all of you for listening. If you enjoy our podcast, please share them with your friends and family. See you next week for another edition of Today and Tomorrow in Scottsdale.